بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. More on the emphasis on the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi afdal salati wassalam. For we talked about the history of his ziyarah and how the Imams would constantly have many narrations talking about the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein and ordering their Shia to flock towards that holy grave. And may we all be of the visitors of Aba Abdullah. You will find that you will also see the emphasis on his ziyarah from our infallibles on the days that it is mustahab to perform his ziyarah from one side, and on some narrations talking about some of the thawab that you get from the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein. For the thawab, there are many narrations that talk about the merits of his ziyarah and what kind of thawab you have in terms of forgiving sins and in terms of receiving hasanat, etc. However, there are some narrations that are truly powerful in terms of showing the status of the zair of Imam al-Hussein alayhi afdalus salati wassalam. When it comes to his visitation, you will find that in our narrations, the Imams would, for example, say, such as Imam al-Baqir alayhi afdal salati wassalam, he says that the one who visits Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is like the one who has visited Allah by his throne. Imagine what kind of power this narration would have. What kind of emphasis is the Imam trying to put on his ziyarah? The one who performs ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein is like the one who has visited Allah by his throne. One day, a marja' taqleed would be confused regarding this narration. Why would it be specifically Imam al-Hussein that has this high status on his ziyarah? So as he was thinking, he's trying to look into the masadir, the sources, etc. Then he decided to perform a'mal, specific a'mal, to meet with Sahib al-Zaman, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. And on the 40th day of his a'mal, the 40th Tuesday, he would be in Sahla, the Masjid al-Sahla, waiting for the Imam to arrive. He did not see him. He would leave Masjid al-Sahla and sit by the Masjid of Kufa. As he is sitting there, a man would come to him. He would say to him, "Can I talk to you for a short while?" He said to him, "Yes, of course you can." He said to him, "I want to tell you about a story, if you have time to listen to it." He said, "Yes, absolutely." He said to him, there was a time where there was a king, and this king went out to hunt. As he went to hunt, he saw a deer. He started running behind this deer, running, until he became in the middle of the desert. He looked around, there was no one there. Alone in that desert, he saw a tent. He would approach that tent, he would see a lady, an old lady there. He would ask her for some water. She gave him water and he stayed standing by the tent. She said to him, "It isn't appropriate for you to stand here, for I am an old lady here by myself." He said to her, "I am hungry." She said to him, "My son has gone out to hunt. When he comes back, he is the man of the house and he will see if he has something, he will surely feed you." He said to her, "No problem," and he waited. The son came back, he did not find anything to hunt. Then there was only one sheep that they had. Because the king was hungry, this young man would slaughter that sheep, cook the meat and give it to this king without knowing that this person is the king. The king, looking at the generosity of this young man and the generosity of this family, he told them that whenever you need anything, come to the city and ask for my name. A while would pass and they came to a time where there was no hunting anymore. They couldn't find anything to hunt. They had nothing to eat or drink. They became very hungry. So his mother said, "Let's go to the city and ask for this man. And if we don't find him, then at least it's a city, so at least we will find some water there." He said to her, "Sure." They went to the city, they asked for this man. They said to him, "Do you even know who you're asking about?" He said to him, "No." They said, "This is the king." He said, "Okay, take me to the king then." They took him and they said, the guard would say that so and so is at the door. He said, "Let them enter." He enters. He said, yes, what do you need? He said to him, do you remember there was a time when you came to my tent in the middle of the desert and I fed you and you said if I need anything that I should come to you? He said, yes, of course I remember that. He said, so do you need it now? He said, yes. He said, we haven't eaten. He looked at his ministers. He said, what should I give him? So some of his ministers said, he gave you one sheep or one goat, give him that one sheep or one goat. The other said, no, he gave you that because that is what he owns, so give him a flock, for you are the king. He gives you one, you give him a flock. He give him more. Others said, he gave you meat, just give him meat. And they kept on giving their own suggestions until the king said, are you guys finished? They said, yes. He said, the issue is not with what he gave. Rather, it is with the idea that he gave me the only thing that he owns. It isn't about the quantity that he gave. Rather, he only owned one goat or one sheep. And he gave all of that to me. So it is only fair for me to give him everything that I own. And he took off his crown, trying to place it on the young man. He said to him, hold on a second. I haven't been brought up to rule a country, and I do not know how to rule a country. Please, find me another solution. He said to him, okay, no problem. Then you will have a castle like my castle, and you will have servants like my servants. And you will be the heir after me. So you will be the one to precede me after I die, and you will have your education and you will have all of that. He gave him a lot of things. This man turns around to the Sayyid. He says to him, O Sayyid, this is a king. He saw a man give him the only thing that he owns, and he received the status. What about the man who gave Allah all that he owns and sacrificed all that he owns, and Allah is the most generous of the generous? Would he not give him this high status in his ziyarah, in his visitation? And so they kept trying to put this emphasis on the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi afdal salati wassalam. His ziyarah equal to 1,000 Hajj and 1,000 Umrah. Hold on a second. Hajj is wajib. How are you telling me that his ziyarah is equal to something wajib? First of all, there is nothing in our religion that says that the thawab of something that is mustahab is less than the thawab of something that is wajib. And I'll give you a very small example. You look at, for example, the thawab of saying salamun alaykum between two people. The thawab of that is 70 hasanat. 70 hasanat for saying assalamu alaykum and alaykum assalam. 69 of the hasanat go to the person who initiated it. And one hasana goes to the person who answers it. The person who initiates it, it isn't wajib, rather it is mustahab to initiate it. However, to reply to the salam is wajib. And Allah gave 69 to the mustahab and 1 to the wajib. So there is no such rule or such balance that we have in our religion. Furthermore, Hajj is a fara' min furu' ad-din, whereas Imam Hussein is a asl from usul ad-din. He is the root of our religion, whereas Hajj is a branch. And what would we do with our branches if we didn't have the root to begin with? And this you will find from Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi afdal salati wassalam, where one man comes to him, he says to him, Alhamdulillah, the one who has exposed you. All praise be to the one who has exposed you. This is while they were captive. And he would say to him, and tell me, who won in that battle? Imam Zain al-Abidin's reply was very beautiful. He said to him, wait for the adhan, and if you hear the adhan, that would go to show you who truly won in that battle. Imam al-Hussein stood for the idea of Hajj. Imam al-Hussein stood for prayer. For Islam became in the hands of a person who was an open sinner. And this is a person who was in charge of all the Muslims around the whole Muslim empire. Imam al-Hussein stood for all of that. And that is why, if you remember at the start, I said even the dates in which and the times in which his ziyarah is mustahab shows us this emphasis. Where, for example, you come, ziyarat Ashura, yes, it is recommended from Ziyarah and Ashura, recommended in Arba'in, recommended on his wilada, on his birth. Those are all things related to him. But I'll give you some more. It is recommended to perform his ziyarah on the day of Arafat. The day of Arafat, it is recommended to perform his ziyarah. Not only that, we have a narration that says that Allah Azza wa Jal looks at the zuwar of Aba Abdullah before he looks at the people standing on the Mount of Arafat. Imagine what status and what emphasis on his ziyarah. Furthermore, even when it comes to the bi'tha of the Holy Prophet, the time in which the Holy Prophet was sent as a messenger, you will find that it is mustahab to perform the ziyarah of Imam Hussein on a day like that. On the day of the bi'tha of the Holy Prophet, the day that he became a prophet, the day on which Jibreel came down to the Holy Prophet, it is mustahab to perform the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Why? Imam al-Hussein, without him there would be no Islam. This is a constant reminder to visit Abu Abdullah, for you are visiting the one who saved Islam. You are visiting the one who allowed you to pray those prayers. You are visiting the one who has allowed you to turn to Allah Azza wa Jal. There is a philosopher by the name of Al-Afghani. He would say that surely Islam, إن الإسلام محمدي الوجود والحدوث. Surely Islam, its presence is through Muhammad, and its start is through Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. وَحُسَيْنِيُّ الْبَقَاءِ وَالْإِسْتِمْرَارِ. And it is through Husayn that it still remains and it will continue. From Muhammad it started, and from Husayn it continues. And this is Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. This was the stance that he took. And hence you will find that the Za'ir of Imam al-Hussein would have so much reward from Allah Azza wa Jal. And on top of that, through every important Islamic date on the Islamic calendar, you are asked to turn to Imam al-Hussein. For he is our way to Allah Azza wa Jal. And this, by the way, is not something that just comes from narrations. No, let's go back to the Quran. You'll find a beautiful ayah in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Ibrahim, to who? To Ibrahim, the Holy Prophet, the Prophet, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and on Muhammad and his progeny. What does he say to him? وَأَذِّن بِالنَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. And call out to the people to what? Hajj. What will they do? يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا. They will come to you. يَأْتُوكَ. They come to you. Not يَأْتُونِ. Allah is talking. Not يَأْتُونِ. They're not going to come. No, they come to you. Why? They are coming to you as you are the means to Allah Azza wa Jal. They are coming to you for you are the way to Allah Azza wa Jal. They are coming to you for you are the guide to Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is the stance of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi afdhalu salatu wasalam, and the rest of our infallibles. They are our guide and to Allah Azza wa Jal, and hence why the emphasis continues and continues on his ziyarah. On every single day. It is recommended to perform the ziyarah of Imam Hussein every single day, to the extent where Imam Sadiq alayhi afdhalu salatu wassalam would tell his companions that even if you cannot attend the grave of Abu Abdullah, go out in open space and turn to Karbala and say Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. May we all be of the visitors of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and may we all have the rank of the visitor of Imam al-Hussein on the day of judgment. هذا والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
سيد الشهداء, I'll give all that I have in the way of al-Husayn, just like al-Bani. She gave away all her sons. I'll give all of my loved ones just to be with al-Husayn on the day of Arba'in. without Husayn? How can I not see بين الحرمين? My whole life just only has one aim, to be beside the one that was slain. Allahu Akbar ya Karbala, قلبي عاشق